Hey Aries, welcome to your weekly forecast for July 15th through the 21st. We're continuing with our ocean mermaid setup and our mermaid cards. Let's see what is coming up for the week ahead for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. After we look at the messages from this deck, I'm going to pull a spiritual card for you, a homework card for you from a different deck. Which is really cool because it actually comes with like little assignments. So I thought that might be fun for some of you. Here's your Monday, Tuesday, your Wednesday, Thursday, your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So let's see what's going on for you. For our Aries friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We have Atlantis, rapid development, excellence, and success. So this is really cool, Aries. You know, this is really cool. This gives us a sense that maybe a lot of you are going to be in that Capricorn full moon energy that's coming up on the 16th, which is, you know, early on in this week. I believe that the 16th is going to be Tuesday. Some of you are really feeling that Capricorn full moon energy. Capricorn full moon is going to be all about action, making changes, making productive changes, but like changes within the structure of your life, like how you do things, not just like, oh, you know, I'm gonna, you know, like big changes in terms of like foundation and like just your priorities, your principles, you know, what you're putting first, you know, how you're going about things, your MO, okay? So you're changing, a lot of people are going to be changing a lot of things about how they're doing things and what they're putting first in their life. But a lot of you Aries, you have this beautiful energy coming up in the beginning of the week where there's this ascension, there's this rapid growth or this rapid progress. If you're not familiar with Atlantis, it's, you know, some people, it's a legend, not everybody believes in it. But, you know, some people have the belief that it was a city that was very, very advanced, and it was lost in a natural disaster. There was a flood, and the city was overtaken, and it's buried somewhere in the ocean. So there's actually still people today, like oceanographers and such, that search for it and that want to hunt for it, because the belief is that they had very high levels of technology, or they were very, very advanced, very futuristic. So whatever the case, Aries, you are coming into a level of high intelligence. For some of you, this is a mental clarity. You're coming out of some kind of a fog, and so you're thinking more clearly, and you're understanding things. I feel some of you, especially those of you that you've been trying really hard to understand something new, whether it's like a new job, or if you've been in school, or if you've been studying something, or you've been trying to learn something, some kind of mental block is being removed in terms of like understanding. Sometimes we have mental blocks not about how we think, but like to retain knowledge or to retain something new. There could be something that's keeping us from being able to process that information and hold on to it. And so some of you are having some kind of a healing in that way, where a subject that was very difficult for you, all of a sudden you're advancing. Some of you are feeling very, very hungry for information, for knowledge. You're finding yourself really wanting to do research about things. If not going back to school, then just kind of trying to teach yourself about advanced concepts or things like stimulating your mind, which I do feel for many of you is going to end up being something that you kind of start tinkering with as a hobby, that ends up being something you find very fulfilling, that you feel like, you know what, this is what I came here to do. This is what I came here to invent. Like some of you are full on like inventing something. For it could be like environment for the environment, or something environmentally friendly. I do have that kind of feeling for some of you. But I feel Monday, Tuesday is the beginning of this awakening that a lot of you Aries are going to be experiencing, that's going to lead you to some kind of learning and knowledge. You have to understand something. These are very big energies, and it's been like a theme for a lot of the different signs the past few weeks that I've done readings. So you have to keep in mind, my darlings, I'm not saying Monday morning you're going to wake up and have an idea, and then Tuesday morning you're going to wake up and invent something. It's not going to happen that fast. but that seed is planted and something very significant is growing. There's definitely an awakening. There's definitely a spark that's happening early on in the week that's going to grow over time. But a lot of you are coming into a high level of intelligence. And for some of you, you're understanding what you're intelligent at, and you're finally feeling good about yourself. I think it was Einstein who said, if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life believing that it is stupid. But fish aren't meant to climb trees, obviously. So the reason why he said this is that we have different purposes. And Einstein was like the smartest man on the planet, you know, in his life. And he brought something very wise in that quote, because he's basically letting us know that people have different types of intelligence. There's different types of intelligence. There's different types of things that we're good at. And we need that to make the planet work, right? We can't have a world full of, nuclear scientists, we need to have people who are good at other things. We need to have doctors. We need to have mechanics. We need to have bakers. We need to have chefs. We need to have writers. We need to have comedians. Like, it takes all kinds of people. So we can't just have one kind of intelligence. And Aries, I think some of you have in your life, because, and I've said this in previous readings, Aries have a tendency to really push themselves really hard, and they're constantly trying to prove themselves, or they're constantly trying to like show that they're productive, or that they can do better than they've done in the past. Like, Aries pushes themselves very, very, very hard. And it's not because you guys are trying to like act like you're better than everybody else. It's like you're trying to prove yourself to yourself, and you're just trying to like be the best you. And so a lot of you might kind of look around, or maybe in your life you've looked around and you've just kind of felt like, well, I can't compete with that person because they're really, really articulate, and I kind of struggle with words, and I'm not so great with my speech, so I'm not as smart as that person. Or, oh, I'm not as smart as that person because they're really, really great with numbers, and they're really, really great with like scientific things, and I have a hard time understanding that. And so you think that you're not smart. So some of you are realizing the things you thought you were quote unquote bad at, you're actually not bad at all. You're seeing it in a different way. You're having an epiphany where you're understanding it. But overall, more importantly, you're understanding that you have other talents and other gifts and other types of intelligence that maybe other people don't have. And you're beginning to like take ownership of it. You're beginning to form something out of it that's going to be very fulfilling for you and helpful to others. Okay? Your Wednesday, Thursday is, ooh, hello. I always say I don't focus too much on romance in the weekly forecasts because I want them to be about you, my darlings, about you, and not so much about love. And that's why I usually say, hey, the love readings are separate, and you can click on the love reading in the link of the description, and you can watch the love reading after your video. And that's still there. If you haven't watched the love reading for June, by all means, feel free to do so after this one, and check out the link. But if love comes up in your weekly forecast, obviously I'm going to talk about it, right? If it comes up, we've got to talk about it. So your Wednesday, Thursday is falling in love. It says kissing the divine in another, in yourself. So, my darlings, I just got chills. Very beautiful chills. And I just got like a mental visual of like a ton of butterflies just like fluttering and flying around. And butterflies, obviously, some of you have heard me say in past videos, are a symbol of transformation, which still applies here in the sense of this reading, but I also got a sense of like liberation and freedom. Aries, some of you are quite literally falling in love midweek. Like an existing relationship is taking a deeper level, right? Like going further or becoming deeper. Or some of you are, beginning to realize that there's something happening between you and a friend where it's becoming more than just friends. Or some of you are meeting a person that's going to end up being the love of your life. But for other ones of us, and you know who you are, for other ones of you, it could be that you've been single for a while, and you're not necessarily meeting somebody new middle of the week, and you kind of feel like you're not going to meet somebody new in the middle of the week because of certain circumstances, or because you just kind of feel like, you know what, I would love to fall in love, but not right now, or I'm not ready right now. Some of you might be feeling that way. What is happening is that there's this very deep, like, falling in love with yourself. Now, hear me out. I know that sounds a little weird or a little cheesy for some of you, but it goes back to what the first card was saying, or what the message was that I was getting, that a lot of you are starting to realize talents and gifts you didn't know that you had, and you were realizing ways that you were smart, that you didn't realize before that you were smart in those ways. And so there's, like, you're very impressed with yourself, and you're feeling really good about yourself, and you're seeing yourself in a whole new light, and you're learning to love yourself. So for a lot of you, Aries, and this has come up in your past readings, but some of you have still been struggling with it, and those of you who've still been struggling with it, I think this is the week that you're really going to master, and you're going to be able to break out of the situation of that negative self-talk where you're just like, oh, you're so stupid, oh, look what you did, oh, you always mess everything up, oh, good one, that was real great. You know, like, sometimes we have this negative, mean voice in our head, but it's like, as you're realizing these things that you didn't realize you were good at, or you're seeing your talents and your strengths in other ways, you're beginning to speak in a very loving way towards yourself, like really encouraging yourself, like, hey, Aries, good job, like, you did a good, that was really great, wow, you're smart, you really figured that out. And you're gonna all of a sudden see that that voice in your head is so loving and so kind, and you're going to begin feeling a lot of love towards yourself. And then this is going to manifest new friendships, new opportunities, you know, the soulmate, life partner type energy. So it's all happening in stages, but these are the ways the energies are coming in this week. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and check out the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Ooh, see? Receptivity. Like I was saying, all about, like, that being open to receiving, you know, feeling good about yourself, feeling worthy. So receptivity is saying allow yourself to receive, allow yourself to give, right? So a lot of you are receiving little signs from the universe that you're loved, that you're taken care of. I, for some reason, feel some of you are receiving a message from far away. This card came up a few weeks ago in a reading, and it made me feel like little miracles were happening, or the universe was sending little gifts your way. And that could be for some of you where you're just having good luck, or you're like, you know, people are giving you things, or coworkers like buying you a cup of coffee, or somebody's like, oh, I saw this and I thought of you, here you go. Or, you know, some kind of miracle might be happening in some way for some of you. But for some reason this week, as I'm looking at this card, I'm getting like a little extra different thing. I think for a lot of you, what is happening, for some reason this card is making me feel that way, that there's going to be a message that you're receiving from someone whom you've not spoken to in a while, where they're wanting you to know that they care about you, or like how much you've meant to them, like you've never understood, or you never knew like how much they appreciate you, or how much you impacted their life. And I think, Aries, some of you need to hear it, because you need to realize that there is something very special about you. I think some of you don't feel special, and you've been wanting to feel special, and you've been, maybe some of you, caught in cycles where you try to be special in situations where you end up getting hurt or let down. Like, I'm going to give you a very extreme example. Don't get upset, you guys. Don't get mad at me. I'm not saying all of you are like this. This is a general reading, and this is just an example. I have to stress, it is just an example. I'm not saying this is happening for all of you, Aries, but I'm just giving an example. Maybe somebody like feels like they're not special, and they want to feel special. So subconsciously, they tend to have crushes on people that wouldn't typically be a partner, like on a boss, or on a teacher, or on a married person, or, you know, just someone who's like not emotionally available in some way, because they want this person, like in a perfect situation, in the dream world. What would happen is this person would be like, oh my goodness, I would never normally, you know, date one of my college students, but there's something very different about you. Or I would never date one of my employees, but there's something very different about you. Or, oh, I would never leave my spouse, but there's something very different about you. So there's this desire to be the exception. And that's kind of an extreme example, okay? So maybe some of you are trying to be the exception in other ways, like overachieving or some other way. And so I feel like the universe is trying to let you know that, hey, you know what? You're pretty darn special in ways that you don't have to try so hard, or in ways that you don't realize. So I do feel some of you are receiving some kind of confirmation that you've impacted somebody's life in a very positive way. And it's making you realize that you do matter, that you don't realize, that you don't know, you know? You never know. You don't know how somebody feels about you. You could be walking down the street feeling like crap, and for all you know, there's somebody that, you know, sees you walk by and they think that you're the most gorgeous human being they've ever seen in their life. And typically people don't go around saying that kind of thing. Sure, there's some people who catcall or whatever, and women catcall too. It's not just guys. I have definitely heard women catcall. But you know, so you don't always know, because not everybody is that bold, or, you know, people want to be respectful, or, you know, they're shy. Not everybody's gonna tell you to your face, oh my goodness, like, you're just so gorgeous to me, right? You don't know what people are thinking about you. You don't always realize how people are impressed about you. So I do feel some of you are receiving some kind of like confirmation that you matter to them. And that, you know, you are a very special person, and they just want you to know this. Okay, so we're gonna see what your spirit homework is for the week. And I love this next deck. And again, guys, the deck info is always in the description of the video. If you see the deck and you're like, oh, you know what, I think I want it. I like this one because it's really about the spiritual stuff and the growth. And every card has like a little meditation and a little like journaling assignment in it, which I think is awesome. So I love you guys. I love my subscribers, and, you know, those of you who've been with me on the journey, because I love that so many of you, like, oh wow, you got a good card. A lot of you are really wanting like to be in the deeper connection, and I love that. Okay, so you have joy. Okay, you've got joy coming up. This card is basically letting us know that there's an activation happening in the heart chakra, especially because that heart is really jumping out at me. And obviously when we feel joy, where do we feel it? Right, we feel it in our hearts typically. So there's this activation process that's happening. And in this activation process, there's going to be a lot of clearing and a lot of healing. Like when I look at this card and I look at the image, all those pretty little swirls around it, I invite you to look at it too and see what's jumping out at you and what messages you're getting. But when I look at it, it makes me think of a kaleidoscope. Maybe some of you played with that when you were a kid, where, you know, it's like you put it up to your eye and you twirl it around towards the light, and you see all of the little shapes change and move and, like, you know, collide with each other and expand. It's very trippy. But those little shapes around there make me feel like they're moving almost, right? Like they have motion in them almost. So a lot of stuck energy is getting unstuck. The yellow and the orange is really jumping out at me. So that's sacral chakra, that's root chakra. The red, I'm sorry, the red would be the root chakra. Excuse me. Red would be root chakra, orange would be sacral chakra, and yellow would be solar plexus. So there's a lot going on with a lot of you for the lower chakras. Now on the outskirts, on the very, very edge, to the right, you'll see that purple, indigo-y, violet color, and that would be the higher chakras. That would be like the crown chakra and the third eye. So a lot going on there as well, but you're going to be feeling it mostly in the lower part, and then I think at some point it's going to start expanding, and you'll like feel at some point the other chakras activating as well. But the root chakra has to do with like the primal, you know, like the very base human needs, like the physical needs. You know, sacral chakra could be like confidence, things like that. Solar plexus is going to be like your personal identity, how you see yourself, how you present yourself to the world. So there's a lot changing. There's like a whole new foundation happening for you, where you're gonna begin doing things out of joy and love and happiness instead of obligation or trying to prove yourself in some way. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna read the little homework assignment here for you for the week. There's a meditation too, but the meditation's like super, the instructions for the meditation is long. The meditation itself won't take long, but the instructions are long. So I'm just going to read the other two parts of the homework just to save time. But if you want to get the deck, this is really great because it has these cool little like spiritual homework assignments. So inspired reflections and actions for you to take this week. Invite joy into your life. Read or watch your favorite comedy and laugh out loud. Put some fun music on and move your hips in a figure 8 to release stored energy. I know you can do that, Aries. You can get those figure 8 hips going. And then your homework, your journal work is draw or write about 7 things you enjoy doing. It doesn't matter what they are. The more trivial is a fancy word for like small or little or insignificant. The more trivial, the easier it is to allow joy and love. Playtime encourages creative genius and access to greater soul wisdom. So this is just very, you guys got an easy one. You guys got just like a have fun kind of card with some ideas on how you can do that, and then journaling about what makes you happy and 7 things that you would like to do more of in your life. People always ask me, how do I raise my vibration? This is it right here, guys. This is it right here. You're going to raise your vibration, and the higher your vibration is, the faster you're manifesting good and happy things. So you got some fun homework this week. You guys will have to let me know what you end up doing for fun in the comments. Make sure it's safe and make sure it's legal, okay? Like whatever you're doing, just safe and legal, okay? That's the only requirement I'm putting on anybody. So anyway, my dears, I hope you have a fabulous week. Be sure to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos too, because some weeks those are going to resonate with you more than others. Also, the love videos are in the link of the description, and if you guys want a private reading, obviously I'm more than happy to do that for you, but make sure you click on the Calendly link, guys. A lot of people are messaging me and asking me questions. That everything is in the Calendly link. The type of readings I offer, how to schedule, how much the readings cost, everything is there. And then the messages get really backed up, and then I have a hard time, replying to everybody. So everything you need to know about scheduling a reading, any question you have, I promise you, if you click on the Calendly link, you'll be able to see the answers to a lot of the commonly asked questions. Obviously, I'm more than happy to read for you, so go ahead and schedule if you'd like to do that. And if you love the videos, thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. You don't have to wait all week for videos, because every single day on Facebook and Instagram, Amethyst Angellight, I post a daily card, and then I post a little pick a card. And then in 24 hours, I reveal the pick a card, and you get to see what you picked. So really, you get like 2 cards a day on my social media. And then you get the messages every week in the videos. So I'm a busy bee, and a lot of, like, all of it that's getting put out there is free. So make sure to take advantage of that if you want the daily messages as well. All right, Aries, wishing you a fabulous week, my loves. Take care.